What's in a name? Apparently a lot when it comes to alpha males. Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the people who have subscribed to this channel. There's a grand total of 18 now, which is exactly 18 more subscribers than I ever thought I would have. Legends, all of you. So thank you. If you enjoy the podcast and you're new here, welcome. Please like and subscribe. For those of you who don't know, which shouldn't be anybody, but if there are new people here, and I already said welcome, this is a 10-minute podcast. I pick a topic, I ramble on it for 10 minutes. If you like it, you like and subscribe. If you don't like it, well, that's okay. Have a nice day. But anyways, growing out of our previous conversation, and I'm calling these conversations even though they're a bit one-sided, out of our previous conversation about what is known as the red pill community, I saw a post last night about alpha males. And I want to discuss this topic a little bit. First, obviously, you've all heard this debunking before. I'm going to say it again. The term alpha male comes from the idea of the alpha of a wolf pack. That was based on scientific observation, I think, in the 1940s or 50s. But the guy who observed it almost immediately debunked the observation because he actually noticed that wolf packs don't actually just play follow the leader. They actually have a fairly collaborative leadership style because, as it turns out, it's really hard to run a group of wolves with only one person doing all of the leading. So the term alpha male is actually based on a debunked bit of observation of wolf packs. Now, there are animal societies that are based on male leadership. There are societies that are based on female leadership. So before somebody from the red pill community tries to come at me about this, there really is no scientific basis for the assumption that human beings are alpha male societies or a society that would even come close to supporting the concept of an alpha male. That being said, before my liberal friends start to say, well, fantastic, Nick is on our side. I'm not on your side either. Because the concepts that underlie some of the alpha male tendencies, while they can become toxic, they are not necessarily toxic. And I'd like to we're going to go in both directions in this discussion. Again, discussion. It's me talking. It's really more of a lecture. But when you go, let's start with debunking the red pill community first. This desperate need to be an alpha male, right? This sort of pathological need to become this thing that you feel that you are not. I'm going to speak to the younger men out there. I guess the older men too, but I don't know. I have a hard time taking advice from 21-year-olds, so I'm going to assume, a 50-year-old man is going to have a hard time of taking advice from me. Younger men, if you feel the need to call yourself an alpha male or declare yourself an alpha male, the one thing I can guarantee you are not is an alpha male. Right? Again, I don't agree with the term, but if you're going to use the term, you are not an alpha male if you declare yourself an alpha male. Doesn't matter how many shirtless mirror selfies you post at the gym, you are not an alpha male. I'm not saying don't post the shirtless mirror selfies. I'm saying those don't give you the credibility you think they do. They show off your physique. They do a great job of showing the work you're putting in the gym. They show a lot of self-discipline. Fellas, we got to just accept this. Working out is really important. It's really important for your mental health, for your physical health. If it's a discipline for you and you're focused on, eating super clean and building, the big muscles, and that's like a discipline for you, that's really good for you too in terms of having repetitive tasks and in terms of having a goal that you strive for. That's great. Those are all very healthy things. But that doesn't necessarily add to your worth as a human being, and we just got to accept this, and I hate to admit it. The girls just don't care. The girls just don't care. Don't be mad if if girls don't flock to you when you have the big muscles. Don't make it for them because they don't care. They just don't. And that's okay. It's okay that they don't care. Now, that being said, again, keep working out. It's good for your mental health. Use testosterone, don't use testosterone, use creatine, don't use creatine. But whatever you do, find a good workout plan, find some buddies, do it for your mental health, do it for group cohesion, and do it because it makes you a stronger, more confident person. Now, more strength, more confidence, you might say to yourself, well, I'm becoming more of an alpha male. That's okay. You don't need to declare it to the world. A stronger, more confident you is always going to be more attractive to the world. And I'm not saying just on dates. I mean, just in general, like a stronger, more confident you walking into an office setting is much more attractive for as much as you might think this wouldn't matter. When you walk into an office and you look like a slob, that counts against you. If you walk in and you look super put together, that works in your favor. Still, use that gym discipline to also discipline yourself in your craft, in your job, whatever you do. Now, I've made my liberal friends happy. I've said that alpha male is not a term we should use. You should not declare yourself an alpha male. And Insta bros trying to be alpha males, calm the fuck down. I can't bleep that out. That's just going to be in there. So now, for my liberal friends. Unfortunately, and I mean unfortunately more so for your worldview, the reason why there is such a rise in the desperate need for men to identify as alpha males, and there is a reason for that, it's because, and you're going to hate me when I say this, it's because men have faced a lot of pushback on the concept of being a man. Now, granted, some of that pushback had to happen. Men were getting a little too wild. Me Too was a movement that had to happen. I completely agree with that. A lot of cancel culture even had to develop because we had to find a way to cancel people, or, we had to find a way to challenge people who were in positions of power and who were misusing that power. So that's fine. I don't agree with how far it's gone. I don't agree with the topics that it's completely canceling people for, but it was a need. It was a need in the world that needed to be filled. However, part of what's gotten lost in the wash of the push against toxic masculinity is that anything that is traditionally male now unfortunately falls into a toxic category. Now, again, granted, no, having big muscles does not entitle you to whatever you want in the world. It does not entitle you to the woman you want. No matter how much you like the girl, doesn't matter how big your muscles are. If she's not feeling it, she's not feeling it. More muscles are not going to make her feel it, and she doesn't deserve to be made to feel guilty for the fact that she's not feeling it. You may just have a crappy personality. But I think we need to be very, very careful when we start to just throw out the baby with the bathwater, because there are some things that are very good that are considered traditionally masculine. And again, I've got left-leaning sociologist friends who will completely disagree with me on this. They remain my friends because even though we disagree, we're still friends. I have siblings who will probably disagree with me on this. But men have a tendency to be immature, and they have a tendency to do kind of wilder, crazier, stupid things more so than women do. Now, women can often go drink for drink with a man. It's not a question of, oh my God, men just have more fun. No, the fact is that men have fun. Traditionally speaking, men have fun in different ways. Like we bond with the bros. Some guys are into golf. I'm not really into that so much. But the point is, these typically masculine behaviors are safe spaces for men. The way we behave is to give ourselves a safe space to allow us to decompress, to allow us to talk in spaces where we feel traditionally safe. And truthfully, as much as men didn't really admit it, you opened up. You may not have opened up with your family, but you definitely opened up at least a little with the bros. It was your security net before you would go to before you had the rise of therapy and everything else. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And truthfully, I did this podcast because I was really looking for a use for this phrase, and now I have it. I've got a cousin who will be very happy I was able to use it. Listen, world, toxic masculinity, I get it. It's got to go. But you got to let the boys be boys. And I have so many friends who are going to hate that phrase. Let the boys be boys. Now, there are, again, part of love is justice, right? So, behaviors that are bad need to be corrected. The boys being boys is going out and chasing women, right? Women still want to be pursued. Part of the boys being boys is going out and chasing women. It is not, quote unquote, conquesting. The reason you chase women is to get women to notice you. If they notice you and reject you, it's okay. Have a nice day. We can't throw away the good aspects of masculinity just because there are aspects of masculinity that, if turned up to 11, are bad. You just have to teach a little thing called self-control. And that is that's the discussion in the ether where people are talking about you have to be a monster and then you have to control it. Not quite that. Don't be quite that aggressive. They use the example of like a sheepdog. Like a sheepdog the sheepdog looks like the wolf to the sheep. A sheepdog really doesn't look like the wolf to the sheep. The sheep, if the sheepdog was not actively hurting them, the sheep would probably be pretty chill with the sheepdog. But the sheepdog's job is to guide the sheep. It is not the sheepdog's job to attack the sheep, raise the sheep. I don't know if we're talking about toxic traits, date rape the sheep. Like, the sheepdog's job is to be a guide. And it works under the supervision of the true leader, who is the guy on the ATV. Don't feel like you have to develop yourself into a monster and then somehow become a soft version of that monster. Just don't develop yourself into a monster. Develop yourself into a man. I said this a couple podcasts ago. The only way you learn how to become a man is to learn how to be a man from a man. That's a lot of usage of the word man in one sentence. Learn how to be a man from a man. If you don't have a man in your life, that's your first problem and you need to solve it. Unfortunately, a lot of young men do have to solve that problem, and unfortunately, they have to solve that problem on their own. The problem is, if you let the world solve the problem of who you learn how to be a man from, it's often not great. Now, again, half the value of religion is, even for those who are only casual believers, is that it does give you sort of a built-in guidebook on a man you can learn from, that man being Jesus and God and all that. Even if you believe in it only as a collection of stories, you can look at that and say, okay, that's something I can start with, because then you can look for a man in real life who models those characteristics and learn from that man. We're a little bit over here, but I felt like this was an important topic. I rambled for a while. We may end up doing a part 2 on this topic so that I don't end up in 20 minutes with Nick, because the name of this podcast is 10 Minutes with Nick. If you enjoyed what I said today, like and subscribe. If you're one of my more liberally minded friends and you thought I insulted your entire belief system, go ahead, leave a comment. But then, we're still playing cards on Friday, so just, be aware of that. Yeah. If you like me, like and subscribe. Come visit me on Instagram. I put reels up. Mostly just reels of this show. So if you've seen the show, you're not going to see anything special. You're just going to see a clip. But yeah, follow me, like, subscribe, or don't. Leave a comment if you don't like me. If you think my face is dumb, leave a comment. Okay, we're officially at 14 minutes. I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have a great day.